My husband's been on a camp out for the last couple days, and we have had a ton coming out of the garden, including these beautiful miniature pumpkins. My daughter decided to save the seeds out of a miniature pumpkin that we had bought from the store last year, and it produced a ton of all different colors of miniature pumpkins, which is one thing I love about growing things, because to buy this many miniature pumpkins, I probably would have spent like $20 or $30 or more. But when you take one seed or a couple seeds out of one and put them in the ground, you get hundreds. So that's the awesome thing about a garden, and that's what's coming out this year. We are just having loads and loads and loads of, yes, peppers, but also the button squash, so many of those, zucchini, yellow squash, lots of summer squash coming out right now, which is great. And I love figuring out recipes and how to use those. I did pick a box of peaches up at the farmer's market. I love to make peach jam with the Pomona's pectin recipe. It's on the blog at farmhouseharvest.net, and I will link that in the description box below for you. But the reason I love it so much is that you use a tiny bit of sugar and mostly all fruit. And so you can it. This is not a freezer jam. It's a traditional canned jam. So I can this in a water bath canner, and it's great to have on the shelf all season long throughout the winter, and it just tastes like fresh peaches in your mouth. We're super busy today, and my husband's not home, so I know that this is very curated, but my house is a mess. And that's one thing I learned having all my little kids at home, is that when my husband's away, we just go wild doing all the things we want to do, all the crafts, all the cooking that we want to do. Let the house be messy if it is, and then clean it up before he comes home. And he never knows it was messy, and then we've gotten all these things accomplished, and the house is clean by the time he gets here. So if you're a new mom feeling a little bit of pressure to keep things clean, don't. Just get the things done you want to get done, and then clean things up later. I have 3 very crafty daughters, and their rooms can get pretty messy because they're in between all these different projects. And I don't say anything to them. And when people ask about it, I just say, yeah, she's very crafty. And I do have them clean it up on the weekends. But that is just one thing I've learned to let go. And I learned that from my mother-in-law. You just get the things done that you want to get done and enjoy doing them, and then worry about the mess at the end of the day. If you let this mess stress you out, it takes the joy out of homemaking. Now, I have been getting really creative with these button squash. I don't know what the other name that they're called. I've always known them as button squash. So if you know, if they're a different name that you know, let me know in the comments below. By the way, like, subscribe, and comment on this video if you like this kind of content. But I have been, my usual way to cook a summer squash that my family loves the best is to slice it thin, so about 1/4 inch thick, dip it in egg, dredge it in a mixture of Italian breadcrumbs and Parmesan cheese, and then bake it. So I'm trying to do a casserole version of that. So I'm just shredding these button squashes, which seem to have less water in them than zucchinis do. And then I'm going to salt and pepper it and just season it. Spoiler alert, it was delicious, but a little wet. So next time I make this, I will be squeezing out the extra liquid in my shredded squash, summer squash. You can use any summer squash with this recipe. So the yellow ones, the zucchinis, or these button squashes. So squeeze the liquid out, add 3 eggs, and then I did a cup of Italian breadcrumbs. I would up that to 2 cups of Italian breadcrumbs and a cup of shredded, or this Parmesan cheese that you buy and put on spaghetti. The fresh Parmesan cheese would probably be a lot better here. And then go ahead and give that a good mix and mix it all up. And then I did take about probably about 1/3 of a cup more of Parmesan cheese and sprinkled it on top before I baked it. So this has the taste and the flavor of Parmesan zucchini. So either the grilled or the baked zucchini crisps. That's what it tastes like, except for it's in a casserole. And it really is delicious. In fact, my youngest ate 2 big, like 4-inch by 4-inch servings of this and really enjoyed it. So kid approved. Just make sure to squeeze the excess liquid out of your shredded squash before putting it all together. If you have good recipes for summer squash, please leave them in the comments below. Link them. I want them. I need them. I have so much summer squash right now, and I am looking for recipes. But this is a good one. It turned out great, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. I will link it in the description below as soon as I get it on the blog. This is just another awesome thing I love about having a ton coming out of the garden. You know, you don't need very many summer squash plants. I have one zucchini plant, one yellow squash plant, and like 3 of these button squash plants. You don't need many. Really, you only need 1 of each, and they produce like crazy. And then the nice thing is as a homemaker and a home cook, you have all of this fresh produce, and you get to figure out what to do with it, make up your own recipes, try different recipes, and be creative. We've lived in this town called Fruitland, Idaho for 20 years on and off. And one thing that I've learned to do here that I really enjoy is making jams. So that's freezer jams and traditional canned jams. But the one thing that I really love about the ability to do that with an abundance of fruit is that you can experiment. So I've really come up with recipes and found recipes that I love that have more fruit, a lot more fruit, and a lot less sugar. So this, I tripled this batch actually. So this is the Pomona's Pectin recipe for peach jam. And the original recipe calls for 4 cups of fruit, and then you can use 1/4 a cup of sugar. So I quadrupled this recipe. So I use 16 cups of the fruit and 2 cups of sugar. And usually when you use like 4 cups of fruit, you use like 7 cups of sugar in a jam recipe. But that's what I love about Pomona's Pectin is you don't have to use that much sugar at all, and it is delicious. I'm just giving you a peek of the summer squash casserole. It's delicious. And if you haven't had it or tried it, or you don't have a summer squash recipe that you like, if you have lots of summer squash coming out of your garden, definitely give this one a try. It is very good. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it gave you a little inspiration. Let me know what you've got coming out of your garden and what you're working on in your house. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And we'll see you next time.